What is going on, guys? I am back here. I am doing a side-by-side comparison of the SDL OOL SL360 and a SD Lange SDLL50, which this is the first I'm seeing of these machines here. Give you kind of a good look over of them. I got this machine from auction as well. It is my first time seeing one of them labeled under this at auction. I believe I have seen similar units under, I think it was AGT before. And a lot of questions I get is, you know, are they all the same? The difference I know between these two right off the bat is this one here was, I believe, $2,500 at auction. It might have been $2,250. So I know one was $2,250, one was $2,500. I'll have to go back and look and double check. But I mean, the difference between the two, I mean, $250. Different auctions, different states actually between the auctions, which usually plays a huge role in, you know, what stuff sells for the population, the area, and you know, if there's other resellers that are buying for that auction and whatnot. So, but I mean, just right off the bat, I mean, first impressions with the two next to each other, I like the SDLL50. I mean, the build of it more. It's a little bit bulkier than the Orjuna, the SL360. The tracks seem a little bit higher quality. The roller system setup seems about the same, but seems a little bit beefier if I had to choose between the two. It just looks like it looks very similar layout. I think the sprockets maybe just look a little bit higher quality. It does look like both of them are sealed bearings though for the rollers. I'd say the hydraulic rams look almost identical between the two. They both have the banjo bolt fittings on the tilt ram, which is nice, so you're not breaking it off and getting it caught up on attachments. They both have the auxiliary hydraulics, same flow between both machines, I recall, when I was looking at the manual on them both. They both have 14.5 horsepower engines. The one thing I did notice though, so this has the Rado engine in it. They both have pull start. This one has fuel shut off, and then it has choke by cable. This one does not have fuel shut off. It does have choke by cable. I did notice though, I believe in my last video I said this was a Rado. This is actually a Ducar engine, which I looked up is also manufactured in China. I know the Rados are manufactured, I believe, in China and Europe. Most of them that come on these machines are obviously coming from China, but I know that they do get them from Europe as well when they are building these. Moving on, it looks like a lot of the dash, I mean, the dash actually almost looks identical. The only thing that's different, this one obviously is a broken rocker switch, but the only thing that's different is the throttle. So this one has the twist throttle on it, and this one has like the old, you know, generic lever style. I prefer these myself. I see a lot of people have issues with these braking super quickly. I see people have issues with these braking as well, but not as fast. So, I mean, it's kind of, you know, you kind of get what you pay for type of deal, but that's what I noticed with those. This engine also does have pull start on it too. So between the two, I mean, super similar when it comes to that. This one I do notice though, the power shutoff controls, the key doesn't control the on and off when it comes to power. This does, which is usually a pretty easy fix. You can swap it right at the starter if you want to bypass that, and then you can have it run right off the key. This one though, it is all ran off the key, which I do like right off the bat. So that's one thing I'm a fan of, that, you know, it's just one less thing you got to mess with right away when you get it. A lot of people, they're not used to turn the kill switches off. Most people, you know, they flip the key, they hop off, they forget about it. You know, a lot of people with this machine, they'll flip the key, they'll hop off, they'll forget about it, you know, and then they'll kill their battery, their hour meter will run. In the case of this one, you know, the light will stay on because the rocker switch is broken. So They both do have 42-inch buckets, which is nice. I see a lot of these units popping up at auction now with 32-inch buckets. I'm not sure why that is. You know, they're smaller than the machine. I don't fully understand why they're doing it. I don't know if it's just a stock issue. You know, they're just trying to offload a bunch of the smaller buckets that don't sell. I'm not really certain on that. When it comes to tie down points, though, I mean, they're both pretty bulky on both machines. I mean, I'd say they're comparative on both. I wouldn't say either one is pros or cons. Moving on to the hydraulics, though, they both do have, this one actually has a bigger tank. I was going to say I thought this one had the 5-gallon tank. This one actually has a 7.5-gallon tank when I was reading the manual on it. It does have a better cap, too, for filling, which is super nice. I mean, I think the bigger tank is huge plus on this. Obviously keeps stuff from overheating as quickly. Just having the more capacity for the fluid for auxiliary hydraulics and, you know, things along those lines, I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's super nice. It does have a 2-pump system on this one as well. It is actually almost identical to this pump, but they are flip-flopped for the connectors. So I don't know if that's just because of how the routing is on this one. I'm assuming they're probably the same pumps. I couldn't find a part number on either of them. So, but I mean, if you put them side by side in the same position, I mean, they almost look identical. This one, I guess, does have a different cap on the front, but measurement-wise, fitting-wise, I mean, they look, I mean, almost the same. The battery's located in the same spot on both. Aside from that, I mean, build quality-wise, the drive motors look identical between this unit and between this unit. And then, I mean, this one, it's got the screen on the front for the cooler. I mean, it's nice, but I don't think it's really doing a whole lot, in my opinion, when it comes to these. So, but aside from that, I mean, the exhausts are out the same. It looks like we're in similar spot. It looks like all of the linkages are actually close to the same as well, too. I mean, all the throttle assembly and everything is going to be the same between the two. I mean, they're both basically like the Honda knockoff engines. So, I mean, everything side by side seems to be the same. This machine and this machine, you know, I go through and I tighten everything on them before I sell them. I change the fluids in them. Between the two, this one was, I mean, pretty good all around. It didn't really need anything right off the bat. It actually came greased too, which was nice. This one, I believe 2 of the drive motor bolts were loose, and I believe 1 engine mount bolt was like hand tight. I did find a washer in the bottom of this one, which I actually kept in here, I think, for the video. So I'm gonna have to figure out if that's just an extra that somebody dropped in here building it, or if it goes somewhere before I sell this one. So we're gonna do another once over on this just to be certain before it goes out the door. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, they both have the H pattern controls. They both have an identical headlight on them. They have the same lift capacity according to the manual. I do plan on testing them at some point here. I want to do a side-by-side with more of the generic auction units, and then a side-by-side with this and, you know, like the Durette and potentially the Weiming unit. I believe I have a 1200 that's going to be coming, so. But yeah, just kind of giving another once over. I mean, between the two, I mean, if I had to choose without knowing anything about them, I would probably choose the SDL 50 just by, I mean, general looks, general build quality. I mean, it just seems the welds seem cleaner. It seems a little bit beefier. If I didn't have a ton of background, if I didn't do a lot of research, if I just put them side by side, this is probably the unit I'd go with after knowing a little bit about them, seeing a little bit more info on them. And kind of controlling the two, I think I would still go this route. The hydraulics on this one, they seem a little bit jerkier. With any Chinese machine, I mean, that's kind of what you get. But it's one of those things, it's with anything that you hop on, especially when it comes to new equipment. I mean, you kind of get a feel for it. So, like, right off the bat, this is like, I mean, it's way jerkier, but now that I've kind of run it a little bit, I really don't think it's so bad, honestly. I think if somebody, you know, put an hour or two on it, I think they would get used to it pretty quick, and I don't think that'd be much of an issue. So, coming back to the tracks, though, this one does have the the nut and bolt style, like the rod for adjusting the tracks on it, which, like I said in my last video, I am a fan of when it comes to these units. It is nice, in my opinion, compared to the grease fitting to tension them, because I feel like they're just super cheap on these units. And it's just one of those things that goes out, and it's a hassle, and getting the correct, you know, thread size for it, and the same one that, you know, is on these, it can be a pain. I think I see now you can get some stateside, maybe on Amazon or eBay it was. I haven't confirmed if they fit though, so, but I have seen some guys in the groups that have been talking about it, and apparently you can get them a little bit sooner now than ordering them from overseas, from my understanding. So, looking here though at the quick attach plate, this one is, I mean, it's pretty chintzy in my opinion. It works. Obviously it's a matter of how hard you're going to beat on it, and how hard you treat them putting attachments onto, if you're, you know, they're not straight, or, you know, they're not released and you're trying to hook stuff up. I don't think they're going to last super long. They don't have grease points on them, which I'm not a huge fan of. This one is, I mean, almost identical. The only thing I do notice with this machine though, so you look here, they kind of integrated the mounting plate into the lip of the bucket, which I'm really not a fan of. And it seems like some attachments fit kind of wonky on this machine because of that. I don't know why the adapter plate on this one seems to be a little off, but on this one you can tell that, you know, they have its own plate for it. The lip is separate. They don't try saving a little bit of money on metal to integrate it right into the bucket. Therefore, this bucket actually will go down a little bit lower, a little bit smoother for grading, which is super nice. I do like that they have the cutouts for the pins. You really shouldn't need them, but I think that's just how thin the quality is of the hookup plate on this one. So I don't know why it should be catching on any attachment, but I mean, they obviously are worried that it's going to. It does seem like it kind of fits in those grooves. So when it comes to other attachments, you know, I'll have to check on this machine and make sure that it clears it and there's no issues and everything works. This one does come with the side plates on it. I never run them. I don't put them on. They bolt right here. What I generally tell people to use those for is if you're going to put counterweights on here. I don't think they're super beneficial if you're, you know, hot run this thing to the point that you're getting thrown around that much that you need those side plates. It's probably not going to hold up too long anyways. So, but yeah, I think other than that, I mean, like I said, if I had to choose between the two, I think I'm going with the SD Ranch. Is that what it is? Yeah, I'm going with the SD Lanch, SDLL50. But I mean, apples to apples, I think if you can get either machine around the price point, I think you're going to be happy. I wouldn't say that one's like far superior than the other, in my opinion. I think they're both fairly similar. I think for the money, you're pretty much going to get the same capability out of both. But I mean, if you have the option to choose between the two for the same price point, that's probably what I would do in my opinion. I haven't seen a lot of issues on, like long-term issues on either of these when it comes to drive motor seals. Engines, you really don't see a lot of problems with these. I mean, really ever, honestly. If it is small stuff, I mean, in my opinion, a lot of it is small stuff. To some people, they make it kind of seem like it's a big deal. In my opinion, it's usually pretty small repairs. But yeah, no drive motor seals, don't see much of. I don't see much of hydraulic issues on either machines. I don't see overheating issues on either machines. I follow a lot of the groups and kind of keep up on, you know, like the common generic problems people have with them right away. And between the two, I don't see a lot of issues popping up on either of these machines. So that is something, you know, it's something to keep in mind with them. But like I said, if I had to choose between the two, I'm choosing the SDLL50. But I mean, side by side, would I say they're identical? No. Would I say they're very, very similar? Absolutely. So, but I think that's going to be it for the review on these two. If you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to comment, or, you know, shoot me a private message if you can on YouTube. I'm still kind of figuring this whole thing out while I go. I am also going to be doing a review on some attachments that I got. I did get a log grapple. So it's actually a 360 spin grapple as well. So it, you know, it's got the button to switch the flow. It hooks up right to the cigarette port, which is nice because, I mean, almost every machine has one. it seems like. I mean, now it seems like some of the newer ones aren't going to have them, obviously. But it seems like a lot of the older, like 2024, early 25 units have them. So, but it's nice. I mean, it's pretty generic. You can obviously add it to power on your machine pretty easy, but it does just come with a switch to switch it from rotating 360 and to switch it to opening. So, but I want to test this. I'm kind of curious to see how it works. I don't see a lot of these popping up Chinese stateside when it comes to auction stuff. So, but otherwise, I got the generic, snowplow, land leveler, Ford 1 buckets. I got a couple different grapples. One of them, these flat bottom grapples, I've never seen them with teeth. They're starting to come with teeth now at auction. I have a cement mixer bucket. That one I unfortunately probably won't do a review on. I have somebody who's going to buy it right away, I believe, and I don't want to use it and then try selling it. So I think that's going to be the only dilemma with that, unfortunately. I do have this roof bucket, which I actually like a lot. I think I'm going to keep this one for my Durette. I'm actually kind of surprised at the quality of this for what it's sold for. So this one's probably going to stay with me. I do have another rototiller. I still want to do like a really in-depth review on these. I plan on getting there, as I keep getting more stuff in. I want to start rolling out a little bit more content when it comes to that. Like I said, I want to beat a dead horse when it comes to the Chinese equipment. I know a lot of people have reviews on some of the stuff. I'm just trying to do like the quick, straight to the point comparisons and kind of, let people know the differences between the basic machines. Obviously, like the small how-to and, failures to look out for, stuff like that. If there's reviews on these attachments out there, I'm not going to bother, more than likely. If there's really short, sweet but not really informative videos, I may do some in-depth videos on them, but I mean, it's not something I'm for sure gonna do. So, but the rototiller I would like to, without a doubt, just because I've seen a couple reviews, but I've never seen anything like super in-depth with them, and I want to see how hard it'll do on different, or how good it'll do on different soils, and the depths you can go with it, and kind of things like that. But aside from that, I mean, you see a lot of reviews on the grapples. I haven't seen a lot on the land levelers. I might do a couple on the land, or a couple. I'll do one on the land leveler if I can't find anything when I do a search later. I'm definitely going to do one on the log grapple though, just because I haven't seen a lot of stuff on the log grapple. I have seen some of the direct grapple, but nothing super in depth. This one, I don't even know what brand it is. I got to look into it more. It's definitely not a Durette, but it's definitely something new that's at auction. So I'm going to try to go through it and, put it through the paces and see how it works. So that way, if, as they start popping up more at auction, people can kind of get an idea as to how they work. So, but yeah, aside from that, like I said, if anyone's got any questions when it comes to this stuff, feel free to shoot me a message, let me know. And, I'll continue to upload stuff from time to time here and there as stuff pops up. And like I said, I'm going to start doing more videos with my Durette here now too. I have another machine on the way coming. I have a main coming. So I'm going to start doing some videos with that, comparison between that and the Durette. And then, now that hunting season's here, I'm going to start doing some public hunting land videos, I believe. And I'm going to start doing some of our cabin build progress now that that's starting out as well. So I look forward to kind of uploading some more stuff, and I appreciate you guys watching.